Hi guys, Queen of Flannel here. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to new camera setup. Hopefully, it looks a little different. I did upgrade my camera to an actual camera. I used to record on my phone, and it wasn't horrible, but I feel like because of the way I was doing it, where I was using my phone as the camera, but had it connected to my PC to OBS software, which is what I use to stream, that the quality lost something by the time the image got to the PC. So I did upgrade my camera, and I'm trying a different microphone setup as well. I switched over to a lavalier mic, so it will stay in the same spot regardless of how I move, rather than using my Yeti Nano, which is over on the side here. So we're going to give this a whirl, see how it goes. And I think this will be is this my first, I think this is my first video of the month. And yeah, so disclaimer, if you have this book, you might know what image I'm talking about, but there is a image in here that I thought would be really good for spooky month. But also, if you don't like clowns, or you're not a Stephen King fan, this might not be the video for you. I just want to warn you before we get into this image. I don't think that it's super scary, and I'm not a fan of clowns, but for whatever reason this image kind of spoke to me today, and I'm going to go ahead and call it the Lady Pennywise image. So that's the disclaimer. If that is not something you're interested in, totally get that. Now's your chance to find another video to watch. So here we go. This is the image that we are going to be working on. This may take us a couple parts to do. And now with the new setup, I can get you guys in like super close, so you can actually see what I'm doing without losing any quality in the video. And I'll bump that up just a little bit. So I think we're gonna start off with her hair, and I have some thoughts on the background, but that is probably going to end up being a second video. I don't know how long it'll take me to get through the marker work, and it might actually go pretty quick because I'm not going to do a whole lot on her face. Just some shadows and shading, and then the lips and the little things around her eyes, and then the majority of this down here again is just gonna be like a really hint of skin tone underneath, but it's largely going to be white. And then the balloons, I have not decided if I'm going to do with marker or if I'm going to base it in gel crayon when I do the background and do some pencil work on it. So we're just going to start with the hair and possibly her face. We'll see how far we get. And so I'm going to do something a little different today. I am using Copics, my Copic sketches, just because they're on my desk and they're quick. So we're going to actually do the shading. We're going to glaze with a couple of the warm gray markers underneath before we... Let me just back us out just a little bit. before we actually start putting in the tones for the hair. So, alright, so this is Warm Gray 5. We're going to start with in the deepest, where I want the deepest shadows. And what this technique does is allows you to put your shadows in underneath whatever color you want to use over top. That way you can keep your tone, rather than put down my red and orange markers and then do my gray over top, and then it kind of ends up looking washed out. So this should give us a little bit more realism. Now when you do this, it's a good idea to test your under painting color, whatever you're using, because you can do this with blues or purples, or you can pretty much use whatever color you want your shadows to be. But I advise testing it out with your marker that you want to be over the top, and make sure that it's not going to show through. So if I was to take my lightest color over top of this gray, we are probably going to get more of the gray showing through than we like. And I am still relatively new to this technique as well, but I did not test my markers out before I did this. So hopefully I have chosen wisely. We shall see. Oh, there is an angry kitten outside my office. I'm not sure what her deal is. She's had lunch. She got spayed last week, so she's wearing a recovery bodysuit versus the cone of shame. And she's not super pleased about it. But it's either the bodysuit or the cone. And she actually got out of the bodysuit like the first night that she was home after her surgery. And so I was like, all right, well, we can go back into the cone. And she immediately ripped the cone off. So I put her back in the bodysuit, and she has since figured out how to get out of the suit. So that's fun. And she plucked a few of her stitches out at some point in the night last night. Okay. Stand by. I will be right back. I'm going to go see what she's upset about. Okay. We are back. Kitty has been sated. Apparently the little litter box that I put in the living room for her in her little surgical recovery area needed to be cleaned, so took care of that real quick. And she should be content. So I'm really just going along where I think we might need or want the shadows to be on her hair here. And I picked out a couple colors I think I want to use for her hair, just because I couldn't quite narrow it down. So, and I will put my color combinations in the description. I'm gonna try and keep this pretty simple, both for you guys and for myself. I don't know if I will do color title cards for this one, since I'm talking you guys through the process. I know Copics aren't widely used in the adult coloring community because they are expensive. But like I said, this just happens to be there on my desk from another project. So, and I enjoy using them. That line, my hand is a little shaky there. But I promise next time I do markers, I will use the Ohuhus. Okay, I'm going to turn this just a little bit. And I probably will go through at the end and do some pencil work on this. Just because I seem to lose like hair details when I'm doing hair with markers. But we'll see how she looks. And we may end up, like I said, do this in multiple parts. Let's see. And I think there's a couple spots where I might go in with the lighter gray. Okay. I just want to put the warm gray 5 aside. And actually, I had a darker gray, so let me grab... So, I actually don't have all of the neutrals in this set. I don't really think that it's necessary. You can really get away with like every other neutral. So if you go with like a warm gray one, this isn't gonna focus. So if you go with like a warm gray one, a 3, a 5, a 7, then it should be pretty satisfactory for, just basic coloring and art. at least get you, started. So I know this is kind of boring just watching me color with grays here. So depending on where we're at, I may do a little bit of the hair with you guys once I get to the colors, and then switch over and do I'll speed it up a little bit, and so you guys can watch, and then I'll come back and chat with you just so. So this video isn't a million years long. So using the lighter gray, just a little bit in here, the warm gray one should help me bridge the gap if I've chosen unwisely on my marker colors, but I think it'll turn out okay. And I probably will go back in with a white pencil or something to that effect for any white highlights on here. Okay, so let me take a look at my colors here. I think I'm gonna start with, this is E19 Redwood, and we're gonna see how this goes. And you can see here how, let me see if I can get you guys in just a little closer so you can see this. So you can see here where I've pulled the marker out, the difference between just the redwood marker, the brown, and where I've added the gray up here, but I still have the tonality from my overpainting color. If I had done this the other way with the gray on the top, we would see more of the gray than we would the red color, and that's fine if that's the look you're going for. But I find on certain subjects, blazing like this gives me a little bit more of a realistic look. I may have to pull out another color here. For my mid-tone. I'm not sure if what I've chosen is going to be sufficient, but we shall see. Bring it back out just a little. So I'm still adjusting to the zoom on this. I'm trying to be mindful when I get down through here not to be too heavy-handed with the brush, otherwise I will end up getting this color outside of the line where I don't want it. So I'm basically the way I do it, it's hard to explain. I mean, it's a flicking motion, but you kind of have to come up a little like higher on your hold on the marker. Just so we get the tip of the marker. Okay, and let's see, we'll go up here. And that's one of the things with alcohol markers is they sometimes look like a hot mess when you put your first few layers down. And I know when I first started using them, it was really discouraging because I didn't know how to fix that, and you really just have to play with it, you know? Find an image that you don't really care about, print a PDF off, just something you can mess around with, and that's really the only way that you learn and you figure out your own techniques and what you like. And definitely know that we kind of get into this well, I don't want to ruin my book, which I get, but it's a coloring book and it's made to be colored in. As I go outside of the frame. Sorry about that. I kind of got on a roll. And forgot to move the book back in frame. And apologize for having to turn the book repeatedly. It's just easier on my wrist to move the book rather than contort myself. And I totally forgot to put a piece of paper underneath the image as I work with alcohol markers. Whoops. Okay, fixed. So that was, let's see. Alright, I'm gonna try this out. This is YR24 Pale Sepia. See how this blends out. If that's actually not too bad. A little more orange than I would like, so I might have to find something else to go over it. But we'll see how it looks when it dries. I can always find something to go over top of it with that will help me kind of adjust out that tone. So there are definitely times that you want to let your alcohol markers dry before you just start slapping more color on there. Because right now, like, I don't like the way this looks, but it may look completely different when the marker dries. And if I keep messing with it and just adding more color over the top, I run the risk of actually making it look worse. And so usually what I will do is I try to just start with a limited color palette. That way I don't have a million markers on my desk. And then if I feel like I need to pull other colors, then I will. is I will need to pull a lighter color here. And there's also a few spots I see where I think I want to add more of the darker red, what was it? Not mahogany, the redwood. It's looking a little funky. Let's see if I grab some of the redwood and pull it out. But it's just gonna take a little extra to get this the way I want it. I'm also trying to see where these hair strands are. It's hard to get down in here and not get into this, but I think I can fix it once I start working on her outfit. Okay, so I am going to finish up the rest of this, and we will speed it up a little bit so you guys can still watch. I am going to bring us back out just a little bit. Yeah, so I'm going to finish this, speed it up, and then come back, and depending on how long we are at, we will see if we can start on the face, or if that's going to be another part of the movie. Yeah, the movie, another part of the video. I am definitely thinking this is probably going to be multi-part. So yeah, I will see you guys back here in a minute. Okay guys, I am back, and as you saw from the video, I did add in some more colors. I think it needs a little bit to just kind of sit and dry because it's still a little damp right now. And ooh, excuse me, hiccuped. And I want to see how it looks once it dries before I add any more marker to it. I felt like I was already kind of hitting that point where I was just like grabbing and applying. And like I mentioned earlier, sometimes it's best with alcohol markers, especially on very like detailed pieces like this, to just like let it sit and walk away and then come back to it. So any further refinement to it, I'm going to do off camera on my own. And then when we come back, we'll take a look at it. And I'm not sure which part of the image we'll tackle in the next video, whether or not we will focus on the face and the body. And also, I totally just noticed that I missed this little strand of hair right here, so I'll do that off camera as well. But yeah, I am enjoying how this is looking so far. I just need a few minutes to go look at something else and then come back to it. So thank you guys so much for hanging out. I super appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video so far. I know there's definitely I got to get used to this new camera because there were some points where I ended up off frame and got so sucked into what I was doing that I didn't realize that I was off frame. So I will work on that for the next video, figure out a better way to handle the camera. And thank you guys so much. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when I post additional content. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much.